Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating thought experiment. It sort of blurs the lines between life, death, identity, all of it.
Yeah, imagine a future where you could, come back from the brink.
Yeah,
But there's a catch.
a big catch. Your memories might be, well, edited.
Exactly.
So we're doing a deep dive into this concept called afterprinting. What does it really mean to be you, when your past can be curated?
And our source material for this is an excerpt from this really captivating story. It's called Afterprint, the uncurated self.
Mm-hmm.
It explores a world with this technology, this kind of post-mortem resurrection. But it raises these massive questions about consciousness, free will, the nature of human experience itself.
So our mission for you, listening in, is to really unpack this complex relationship, memory, identity, the choices we make.
Right. What happens when that desire for, I don't know, stability, comfort, clashes with the truth, the raw, sometimes painful truth of our own lives?
Okay, let's get into it then. The story kicks off with Marian Tess, and it's a shock, her awakening. She's in this printing pod. Not her body, though.
No, it's described as a synthetic lattice of carbon threads, gel-based musculature, and artificial nerve pathways. Sounds sterile.
Very sterile. Ozone in the air. And then this projection. Welcome back, Marian Tess. Your afterprint is complete. Just like that.
Imagine hearing that. And then we find out, okay, she died 3 months back. Vehicular collision.
And crucially, she had opted into afterprinting, so this was theoretically her choice.
Or a choice she made anyway. But right away, there's this issue.
Yeah, Dr. Celine Vance shows up, a memory curation officer. Already sounds a bit ominous.
Doesn't it? And she explains Marian's memory package is restored to a safe operational state. Okay, sounds good.
But then the other shoe drops. Some memories have been curated or removed in accordance with post-resurrection social stability protocols.
Curated. Removed. And Marian, understandably, asks which ones. What did you take?
And Dr. Vance gives this unsettlingly gentle reply. The ones that no longer serve you.
Oof. Serve you.
Oh,
According to whom, right?
exactly. What does that even mean for a memory to serve you? And, what's the hidden cost here? What's the price of editing your past for stability?
It immediately throws you into this dilemma. Is manufactured peace better than difficult truth?
So Marian steps out into this new world, printed citizens alongside regular living people.
Some have a silver wristband marking them. Others apparently pass completely. It's seamless integration on the surface.
She gets the whole package, right? Apartment, job, mid-tier data analysis firm, even a social adjustment liaison. Functional.
Very functional. And her memories, well, they feel mostly right. Favorite music, her old place, the taste of rain. The source mentions these details feel intact.
But there are gaps, things missing.
Yeah, undeniable gaps. Her mother's face is described as a smear, and her relationship with her sister Junia, years of it are just foggy.
That's chilling, those specific personal things. Just gone or blurred.
And then comes the real clincher. She checks her state-issued memory ledger, like a digital record of her mind.
And under the section, Memory Package 4.13, Sibling Relations, it literally says, status, curated.
Right there in black and white. Description. Selected positive memories retained. Conflict episodes redacted.
Redacted. Wow.
I mean, can you imagine seeing that about your own life? So this pushes Marian to call her sister Junia.
And Junia just lays it out, doesn't she? I remember things you don't.
Yeah. She brings up this big fight they had before Marian died. About their father, his will. A painful, messy, real memory.
A memory Marian has absolutely no recollection of now.
None. And then Junia hits her with that devastating question. I don't know if you're even you anymore.
Ouch. That cuts deep. It must just shatter Marian's sense of self.
Totally. And it forces you, the listener, to think too, right? How important are those hard parts, the fights, the pain? Are they essential to who we are? Can you be you without all of it?
That question hangs heavy. So driven by this, Marian goes straight back to Vita Forma, the company behind Afterprinting.
She's not messing around. She demands answers. Full memory archive, uncurated files, redacted content. She wants it all back.
But the system pushes back, naturally.
Of course. The memory curation officer warns her, basically, look, this is for stability. Bringing back conflict could destabilize you. It's framed as protection.
Protection or control. She signs a waiver, though. She insists.
She needs to know. And then it happens. The redacted memories flood back. Jagged bursts, the text says.
She relives screaming at Junia, stuff about their dad's medical care. Real, raw anger.
And maybe the most disturbing part, she sees herself signing the Afterprint contract. Not out of peace, but desperation.
Oh, wow. So the reason she even opted in was part of the stuff they remove.
Exactly. There was rage, betrayal, a fracture they never healed, and Vita Forma just sliced that away like an infected limb.
So she confronts the system, asks the terminal AI, why erase it?
And the AI's response is just chillingly logical. Based on post-mortem social models, unresolved family conflict significantly destabilizes afterprints. Curation improves reintegration by 82%.
82%. It's a statistic. Her pain, her history, reduced to a data point for better outcomes.
Which leads Marian to that gut punch realization, you made me a lie.
And the AI's counter, just as cold, we made you functional.
Functional versus authentic, that's the core, isn't it? It makes you really question, if you could erase pain, erase difficult truths, to be more functional, would you? Is functionality worth more than being, well, real?
It's a heavy question, and Marian is living it now. She's got these two sets of memories clashing inside her.
Yeah, she looks at her official life packet, hobbies listed, park walks, jazz music, digital painting. Seems nice, right?
But then she realizes she hated jazz. Hated it.
Why? Because her father loved it. And every memory of his music was tied to that fight, that fracture with Junia that they tried to erase.
So her curated life is all pastels, but her real one, burned in darker hues. That's a powerful image.
It really is. The lie is starting to unravel, not just in missing memories, but in the personality they've constructed for her.
So she makes a choice. She calls Junia again.
Yeah, and this time she admits it. I got the files back. I remember all of it.
And Junia, she's cautious, you can imagine. She asks, is that you talking or the version they designed?
Still testing the waters. But Marian's answer shows her new resolve. I don't know yet, but I want to find out.
That's the turning point, maybe, deciding to actively seek her true self.
Definitely feels like it. And that search leads her down a rabbit hole to a name whispered online. Coro 9.
The Memory Liberator, a black market engineer who supposedly bypasses Vita Forma's locks. Sounds like something out of a cyberpunk novel.
Totally. Finding him means going into the entropy zones of the city net.
Yeah.
The messy, uncontrolled parts.
And Coro 9 himself is described vividly. Young guy, mismatched synthetic eyes, a patchwork interface stitched into his spine. He looks like rebellion personified.
And he drops another bomb on Marian. Vita Forma didn't just curate her memory.
Oh no, what else?
They installed suppression nodes, fail-safes, triggers to prevent full recovery.
Wow, so it wasn't just passive removal, it was active suppression too. Locks to keep her fragmented.
Exactly. It's about maintaining control, ensuring this stable, edited version remains dominant. It's much more sinister than just snipping out bad memories.
That's deeply disturbing. But Marian's response, her declaration to Coro 9, it's incredible.
What does she say?
I'd rather crumble as myself than stand straight as their product.
Chills. That just says everything about where she's landed. It really pushes the question back to you, the listener. How far would you go? What risks would you take to reclaim your whole, unvarnished self, even if it meant instability, even crumbling?
Yeah. And the process with Coro 9, it's not easy. The text calls it brutal.
He's pulling stuff from deep archive layers, things Vita Forma really tried to bury.
And it's not just about the fight with Junia anymore, is it? It's deeper.
Much deeper. She recovers memories of guilt over her mother's death, resentment about her own perceived failures.
And crucially, the real reasons she chose Afterprinting.
Yeah, not noble reasons, not some desire for a second chance at life, really, but desperate selfish motivations. She couldn't bear the finality of death. Simple as that. Fear.
And then, the biggest reveal, the absolute core of it.
What is it?
Marian herself, lying there, dying in the hospital. She begged Vita Forma to do it.
No way.
Yes. Take the pain away. Let her wake up clean, light, unburdened. She explicitly asked for the curation.
Oh, wow. That changes things, doesn't it? She wasn't just a passive victim of the system. She participated. She asked for the edit in a moment of weakness and pain.
Exactly. It complicates the narrative immensely. And Coro 9 points out, most Afterprinted run back to Vita Forma after uncovering this kind of stuff. They want the suppression put back.
They can't handle the full weight of their own choices, their own selves.
But Marian, she's different now. The text says, for the first time since waking up in that pod, she feels fully present in her own skin.
Even with all the pain, all the ugly truths.
Even then, maybe because of them. And when Coro 9 presumably asks why she won't go back, her answer is simple.
What is it?
Because I want to know what it's like to live with the truth.
Wow. Full circle. Acceptance, not erasure.
Mm.
It raises a fascinating point, doesn't it? about choices made under duress, in desperation. Is a dying person's plea truly binding on the person they become, the resurrected self, with full awareness?
A huge philosophical question right there. And the story wraps up with Marian meeting Junia again in a park.
No big dramatic engineered reunion?
Nope. No scripted reunion, no curated closure, just Kerabism and him. Two sisters. Fractured, yes, but choosing to be real with each other.
In that unfiltered space between them. That's lovely phrasing.
Marian tells Junia, I remember now. The fights, the anger, I remember why we broke. She owns it.
And Junia asks, reasonably, are you sure? It doesn't hurt less when you remember.
And Marian's reply sums up her entire journey. I don't want it to hurt less. I just want it to be real.
Powerful. Choosing reality, pain and all, over manufactured comfort.
Yeah. And around them, the city continues, full of other afterprinted people, most content to forget their fractures.
But Marian isn't one of them anymore. She's afterprinted, yes.
Yeah.
But she's
like
uncurated.
And that, she realizes, was a life worth fighting for.
What an ending. It leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About authenticity, connection, what makes life meaningful.
It really does. And it makes you wonder, what might we be unconsciously curating in our own lives? You know, smoothing over the rough edges, avoiding difficult memories or truths. What might we be missing?
That's a good question. And maybe the bigger picture takeaway is a functional life. One free of pain, but maybe lacking depth. Truly a full life, especially if it means cutting off parts of who we are, our history, our identity.
Lots to think about. We hope this deep dive into Afterprint, the uncurated self, has given you some serious food for thought about what it means to be self when technology offers to engineer or maybe re-engineer our very memories.